Yo, what's up, everybody? It's your boy CB, aka the Rude Educator. This is WETF, here for another spoiler review of Wu-Tang and American Saga. It's about to go down. It's Wednesday. Now, when we last saw our heroes, they were settling a dispute on a boat on the Staten Island ferry, and your boy Bobby was trying to get Shy and Dennis together so that they could squash their beef. He was also trying to squash the beef between Power and Divine. These were long-standing beefs, and it was going to take a lot to get them together. So this week, we're in a new mode. It jumps off with Divine and Bobby going to see the lawyer about forming the company. And it's interesting because Divine's already a little pissed off at Bobby. I think maybe he was late for the meeting or whatever, but Bobby's like, don't worry about it. We got this covered. This is the same lawyer I used from the Prince Rakeem days. It should be cool. Divine's still a little apprehensive because he's like, isn't that why we here in the first place? Because of the Prince Rakeem deal, but whatever. So they go in, they meet with the lawyer. The lawyer, you know, he looks over what they're doing. He doesn't exactly agree with sharing the company with all of the members, but Bobby insists that's the way he wants to do business. So the lawyer, you know, he's like, well, it doesn't really matter. You're the client, but you're going to pay me. And that's what they do. And they walk out. Everybody's pretty happy. They're saying that they're going to get the logo to them and that Mathematics is working on it. And we all know that that is a true story about the Wu-Tang, that Mathematics did do the original logo. So that's at least one thing in the show that's true. Now, they run into a DJ on their way out, and they're supposed to be trying to get him some music, but they don't have any business cards or anything to give to him at the time. So, you know, that's one thing that they need to work on. And then as they're leaving, Divine is kind of wondering some of the jargon that the lawyer was using, and he's realizing that he may have a little bit more studying to do. Anyway, they go on, and next thing you know that Bobby is showing up at the crib that he got, and Raekwon's outside. And Raekwon's like ready to go to work because, you know, he's ready to get this music thing popping. He's like the main one trying to get it popping. And Dennis is there. Jizz is also there, but the main thing is that Dennis is there. And Raekwon and Dennis, they still not really getting along. Bobby is trying to get them to go along. He's telling them they need to work together on the studio to get together. Dennis is like, yeah, I know what you're trying to do. But, you know, it's still kind of shaky, long story short. And, you know, but they're working together because they all got this common goal, right? Meanwhile, Power is out buying equipment for the studio. And he's at the equipment dealer. He's at the spot, the electronics spot. And the guy's coming out. He has no idea what the guy's talking about. He's bringing out samplers and mics and compressors and stuff. He has no idea. But he does know about the bottom line. And so he asks the guy, he's like, how much is all this? And the guy gives him the bill. And it's like $20,000. And he looks at it, he kind of scoffs at it, but he pulls out the money and he hands it to the guy. He's like, you know, go ahead and take that. That's yours. And matter of fact, he told the guy, he's like, that's 2 bricks. The guy didn't, it was interesting because Power had no idea what the equipment guy was talking about when he was talking about all the technical shit. And then when Power said, that's like 2 bricks, the electronics guy was like, what? So it was funny how they were both talking in 2 different languages at that point. And, you know, he had him pack the stuff up, and then he shows up the studio with it. And the first thing RZA says is, only 1 mic. And Power was just like, look, man, you know how much this shit costs? You were serious asking me about 1 mic? They need to share that shit. And RZA talking about how they can't share, doing skits and all this stuff. Power really not trying to hear it. And some of the other things that are going on right now, the phone's not working. Jizza said he's going to get the phones working. And, you know, it's one of those things where he goes out to the payphone, try to get the phone on, and he's running into issues because there's a balance on the account and all this kind of stuff. So that lingers on in the process. The other thing that's going on, because there's a lot going on in this episode, by the way. This episode, whereas the last episode was only over an hour length of time, and it all took place on a boat. This episode is showing over a 12-hour period, and there's a lot going on. There's a lot of different scenes, a lot of moving parts, just like it is in the actual clan. So it makes sense. So if I bounce around, excuse me, but I was trying to tell the whole story as it happened on the show. Remember, they were back at the lawyer saying that they would get their logo together, because as much paperwork as Divine had together, that's the one thing they didn't have together. So he's meeting with Mathematics, and Mathematics is saying like, okay, I've been working hard on these logos, and he shows Divine the logos, and it's some wild shit. He got 7 heads being chopped off and all this kind of violent type shit. And Divine like, yo, man, we trying to start a business, not do a horror picture. So what is this, you know? And Mathematics is like, yeah, I was just trying to make it grimy for y'all. And he's like, nah, this not going to work. And matter of fact, I need this by tomorrow. So Mathematics is like, all right, well, if that's the case, I'm going to need to charge you double. And Divine is saying, okay, that's cool, but I need this to be right. You know, this need to be some type of professional type stuff. And, you know, they trying to get all of that together. Divine, you know, he doing the studying on, you know, what a pro forma is and all of this. So, you know, Bobby's putting together the studio. Everybody's, you know, in there trying to get everything together. And then when you know it, the power goes out. And about this time, ODB comes back. As a matter of fact, they put ODB on the mission to get some egg cartons. Now, he originally came back with some actual eggs. And they told him, okay, we just need the cartons. We don't need all these eggs. And he's like, what you want me to do? Go dumpster diving? And so he goes back out to go find some eggs. And as he comes back, that's when the super shows up. And she's worried about why the power's out in the building. And she's asking all the tenants through the building what the issue is. And Bobby doesn't want to come into his apartment to see all the construction that goes on, else he feels like they're going to get evicted if she sees what's happening. So as ODB's coming down the hall, as the super's coming down the hall, here comes ODB. And he kind of throws interference and tells the super, yeah, I was just next door helping them put this power in. Hey, I can help you out too. And so he gets her to go away, and they go down to the basement or whatever to figure out the power situation. And of course, he did bring back the cartons. So now they got the cartons. They putting up cartons, and ODB is down in the basement with the super trying to put the power back on. So all that's all going on at the same time. The other thing that they show, they start off with Method Man. He out shooting dice, and you know he talking to his guy, and he taking everybody's money. And they talking about Bobby and how he changed his name to RZA and all of this, and how they're going to be making some music together. And then You God and Rebel is out. Rebel is out of jail now. And, you know, apparently Method Man has something to do with getting him out with the bail money. So they share some pounds and talk about that. And they talking about how they need to get to the studio. How Ray and Ghostface is already there, and he's like, Ghostface, who is that? He's like, yeah, that's D Lover's new name, Ghostface Killer. So everybody seems to be getting their new names. Everybody is really excited about getting the music thing going. So you can really see the clan starting to come together, and that's exciting. That's what everybody's kind of been waiting for. And you know, it's just interesting because everybody wants to get to the music, but the real interesting part of all of this is how the story is going. To me, anyway, that's the real interesting part. And as they're out there, as You got Rebel and Meth are out there talking, somebody comes down the block shooting, and they gun down the man's Poppy that was out there playing dice with Meth. And you know, they all kind of, you know, get sad for a moment. They show up to the studio sad because they all thinking to themselves, damn, that could have been me. And, you know, the fact that they talking about that, it kind of remind Ghost when he got shot, and then of course that reminds Chef of when he got shot. So they all kind of sitting there like, man, like, you know, the homie is dead and it could have been us. And they all sitting there thinking it could have been them. And, you know, it's just one of those moments, you know, but then RZA turns it around and says, yeah, you know, yeah, it could have been us. You're right. I could have been in jail, but we not. We here. And we need to make, you know, we need to make use of this purpose the fact that we are here. We need to make use for it. So RZA is really, you know, taking his leadership position by using some of these tragedies that's happening and using them for inspiration to get the job done, because he realizes right now is the time to get everything done. And in the meantime, you know, it's a lot going. Like I said, it's a lot going on in this episode, and we and so Dennis gets a beat from Shuri. She's on the way with the baby. And I guess they worked it out some kind of ways to where Cherie and the baby is supposed to stay in the apartment with Bobby and Dennis, where the studio is, but they ain't even got room for a bed, let alone a crib. All this is going on. And then he putting together the crib, but he can't quite get it right. And so he got to dip out and go pick Cherie up. And, you know, then they show Raekwon over there looking at the crib. He kind of pissed off about the whole crib situation because he like, man, we supposed to be building a studio. Y'all in here building baby cribs. What we really doing? And so it's a lot of confusion on that. But you know, it all comes together at the end, and that's what's important, because by the time he get back with Shuri and the baby, well, before I get into that, we got to talk about how the power comes back on, and about that same time, you guys shows up with some weed, because everybody was ready to leave at one point. They didn't have no power. They ain't had no phone. Everybody ready to get the fuck out of there, man. It ain't nothing going on. You know, I think Rebel put, he said, we supposed to be doing music. Ain't no phone, ain't no lights. What we doing? So the lights come on right when everybody's about to leave, and then they get Method Man in the booth to record Method Man. And it's live, you know. He in there recording. You gotta bring some weed back. And then about this time, Jizz is out there really working the phone, trying to get these phones on, to the point where every time a representative picks up the phone from the phone company, he greeted with peace, God. And when they don't answer right, he just hang the phone up. He like, I ain't even wasting my time no more. Every time they pick up, peace, God. They're like, what? Hang up the phone. It was a real good scene seeing that. And then finally, on his last quarter, they like, yo, blah, blah, blah. He like, peace, God. And the guy answered back, peace, God. And then he's telling what the deal is, and he's like, word is bond. It ain't our bill, it's somebody else's bill. I need to straighten out because we need this phone now. And they getting all straightened out. And then he come back with the phone number. And while all that's going on, they in there celebrating. They like, yeah, Method Man, he done recorded his joint, and it's dope, and everything is good. They in there smoking. Everything is live. And so, like I said, then it's coming back with Shuri and the baby. And when they get to the apartment, then it's like, yeah, it's about to be cool, you know, just come on in. We got the crib set up. You know, I got to get the crib set up. And he come in, and the crib's already set up. And he wondering, like, who did this? And he asked Jeans, like, you do this? He was like, nah, Chef did it. And, you know, they kind of acknowledge each other. And that's one of those things that kind of like, you know, I feel like supposed to bring him closer, because he was really struggling with that. Wasn't nobody really helping him with that. But then Chef took the time to put his crib together, even though he was like not with it really. But he did that. You know what I'm saying? He seen the man struggling, and he helped him out. And that's what's real, you know what I'm saying? That's what a real bond built on. So it was good to see that. But when Shuri seen everything that was going on in that crib, she was not liking it. And, you know, Dennis told her, like, you know, give me a second and we'll straighten this out. And then they started talking about the contracts. Meanwhile, she out in the hallway, and she not really feeling the situation. So she step off. And she go to Divine's girl's crib. And Divine girl, you know, she let her in. She know what the deal is. And, you know, I guess they're going to work it out some kind of way like that. But, you know, that's just showing the fact that it was a bad situation. It was kind of a bad situation to begin with. I don't know really who thought that was gonna be a good situation for a baby. You know, you got niggas in there drinking and smoking blunts and everything. You got a newborn baby. Ain't really supposed to be popping like that. But anyway, they got that part figured out, and now they got this, this recording method man. And so what do? They go back and they play it for the DJ. And the DJ is telling them like, man, it's a good song, but I can't play it because the sound quality ain't right. And he compared it to a song, a professionally recorded song, and he's showing them the difference in the levels. And he's like, yeah, y'all gonna at least have to mix and master this joint in a real studio. And Divine like, how much is that? And before the dude even can tell him how much it is, Power out of there. Power like, man, fuck this, I'm gone. And so they back at the crib, and they trying to figure out what they gonna do. They talking about getting credit cards to pay for the studio time, whatever. Then it's a knock at the door, and who is it but Power? And Power's like, man, why y'all looking at me all strange for? And they like, whatever. And he tell them like, man, all this in here is mine, okay? This equipment, it's all my shit. And I ain't about to have y'all out here on some bullshit, so y'all need to go on to the studio. And he dump all the money on the floor, and it's all good. Like, they thought that, he was done with it, but he was out there trying to he said he sold his whip so they could get his thing going for real. And him and Divine hug, it's like, they beef is gone for good now. So everything out of the last episode is pretty much resolved at this point because, D and Ray, they got their situation kind of squashed. Now Power and Divine got their situation squashed. The clan coming together. Oh, and let's not forget about the contracts, because that's how the episode kind of started, with the contracts. That's how the episode kind of ended, with the contracts. And they talking to, and RZA's just telling them like, yo, give me 5 years of your life and I'm take y'all to the top. And they kind of hesitant at first, but everybody end up signing the contracts except for one. And that one is Jizza. And I guess we're going to find out next episode what it's going to take to actually get him to sign. He say his word is bond, he's always going to be there, but we're going to see if that's how it's going to actually work. And then your man Mathematics came through with the logo. RZA checked it out. And of course, it's that ultimate Wu-Tang W logo that everybody knows and loves. It's a beautiful thing. Yeah. So in the meantime, we got a lot going on with, they're gonna be in the studio. Shuri back with the baby. We got, money tied up in a whole lot. So it's gonna be real interesting to see where they go. We halfway through the season. We 5 down. We got about 5 episodes left. So it's gonna be real interesting to see where we go next. Hey, I'm excited. You know what I'm saying? The Wu-Tang is finally the Wu-Tang. They actually recorded songs now. It's down. It's going down. Hey, anyway, y'all let me know what y'all think. Click the subscribe button. Click the like button if you like this video. Leave me some comments. Tell me what you think. And, that's what I'm really interested in. What you think about the episode? Did you think it was good? Did you think it was accurate? Is the Tyler Perry hair getting on your nerves? Is the RZA voice getting on your nerves? I don't need to know about all that. Anyway, y'all hit me up. I've been the Rude Educator, aka CB. This is WETF. Peace. Yeah.